If you were to suddenly look in the mirror and see a snarling, drooling beast, blue from head to toe, you know where you'd go. And you'd go quick. The prophet Isaiah offers us a spiritual emergency room. When you and I realize that we have a beastly side, that we are blue from head to toe. And he begins by giving us God's assessment of our condition. He does that in Isaiah 53, and we'll pick it up with verse 4. He says, surely he took up our infirmities, and that word means sickness. See, God treats our condition as a disease rather than defiance. If God treated our sin as sin right now, we wouldn't stand a chance. The psalmist said that. Who could stand if God counted everything we did against us as the full punishment and penalty for our disobedience? We'd be toast. But instead, God treats it as a disease. He goes on to say, and he carried our sorrows. The word sorrows literally means pain. See, God doesn't see us as problem people. God sees us as people in pain. And our wounds wound God. We know that because of a statement made in John's gospel. The shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept. Now let me give the context quickly. Jesus has gone to the funeral of Lazarus. He's late by a couple of days. And Martha runs out to Jesus and says, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And Jesus responds to her by saying, I'm the resurrection and the life. If you believe in me, you'll never die. Because Martha's basic question was, are you in control? Mary, moments later, falls at Jesus' feet and she says the exact same thing. Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But her basic question was not, are you in control? Her question was, do you care? And Jesus' response to her was not with words, it was with tears. He wept. Now, what's more remarkable? A God who can raise the dead or a God who weeps? God wants us to know that he knows our woundedness and our pains pain him. Then Isaiah goes on and he says even more, but he was pierced for our transgressions. Now that word transgressions literally means disobedience. One of my favorite disobedience stories, the dad who's going to take his young daughter to the store and they get in the car. He tells her to sit down and put on your seatbelt and she just stands there. Tells her a second time, she just stands there. The third time he says, if you don't sit down and put on your seatbelt, you got to go back in the house, not taking you with me. So she belligerently sits down and she straps on her seatbelt, and moments later as they're driving to the store, she says, Daddy, I'm still standing up on the inside. That's disobedience. That's us. There are times that we might do what God says to do because he's bigger and stronger and we're afraid of him. But on the inside, we're pushing back. On the inside, we're willful. We don't want his ways, we want our ways. We're still standing up. We're still resisting. We're still rejecting God's will and God's ways for our life. Isaiah goes on to say, and he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed. What he's telling us is God treats our sin as a disease, as a curable disease. And we'll talk about the treatment God has for our sin condition in a moment.